Oh no, here we go again. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to more Call of Duty news. If you guys want to come back tomorrow, we'll be talking about Hastro, Scump, Clayster going back and forth with each other. The ongoing debate between these two teams, that being the Huntsmen and the Empire. Now, speaking of a current member of the Empire, that's going to be Crimsix. And of course, it's Crimsix, right? I swear to all of you watching right now, if this was any member of the current Huntsmen, I don't think it would be necessarily as funny as this one. Because, of course, after all the hate, the backlash, the given results of Huntsman over the Empire, it's Crimsix who gets caught out. I would say almost obviously so, hiding his controller on broadcast. If you guys did not see, brought to us by CDL Intel, many other clips out there as well of Crimsix waving off the camera as he unboxes what supposedly is going to be a Battle Beaver and not a Scuff gaming controller. Also on top of that, though, it's CDL Intel bringing us the juicy intel of supposedly, unless he was joking, saying over 60 CDL players are actually currently using Battle Beavers instead of the Scuff gaming controller, which would be pretty crazy if you do the math. By the way, I believe we have 88 pros currently in the CDL, the top tier across those 12 teams, which would mean around 70+% of them are using Battle Beavers and not Scuffs, who I believe, if not a sponsor of the league, at least we've seen their advertisements all over the Call of Duty League. And then you got to ask yourself, is this advertisement a lie? I mean, before the season started, yes, it was no secret to many people out there. Battle Beavers were certainly making their entrance into the scene, and were being used by several pros out there, but 70+% seems like a pretty crazy thing for maybe a more, I think by many opinions out there, a more durable controller with more customization options. But it's super weird to see a primary sponsor for a lot of these individual pro players. I'm not sure about the league, but they do play their advertisements as well. And notably, most of the pros, supposedly most of the pros, a majority of them, aren't even using those controllers anymore, which is all the more weird about this clip. And it seems pretty obvious as he's trying to, of course, bring out the controller, sees the broadcast, which, by the way, when it comes time for Call of Duty, these broadcasts are certainly a bit weird, because when it comes time for comparing League of Legends or Overwatch, we don't see player comms, I believe, not near as frequently. We do in Call of Duty, and in Call of Duty, yeah, a lot can be said during player comms, and I'm sure you have no idea when the broadcast on air is listening into your comms. We saw this past weekend, Clayster dropping F-bombs. Not that big of a deal, but God forbid you say something else, like so-and-so's girlfriend's hot or so, who knows, right? It's definitely more of an intrusive broadcast, and now we have Crimsix being recorded, of course, live on air, hiding his controller, which drives a debate, what is Scuff going to do to step it up, right, in the future? And it is super weird to see, of those apparently 60+ pro players, which ones are still sponsored by Scuff, huh? Also brought to us very lastly on this topic, guys, by Crone as well. Very well-known guy, CDL Intel. On top of that, they cannot be forced to actually use Scuff gaming controllers, just not promote things like the Battle Beaver as well. Anyway, I'll hop into our second story as well. I saw a lot of regulars out there, casuals as well, very confused by this. It was actually Dallas Empire versus London, and it was a Game 5 suicide by Wuskins, or at least I believe it was actually Game 5. By the way, Wuskin, and at least my book as well, up to those semifinals, was definitely a candidate for the MVP of the entire event. Still super sad to see him lose in front of the home crowd. Even worse, having to see him commit in front of the home crowd as well. For anyone curious, by the way, that was actually, so those other players he was playing against in that 1v5 did not add to their score streaks, and did not add that time to their specialist, that being, of course, in most cases, dead silence. So anyone was curious about that, he killed himself, because otherwise he plays out the entire round. The 5 players he's playing against, they accrue that times towards their dead silence, and so that is why instead he took grenade to hand to not give them the time. Also, if you guys noticed during S&D, a lot of times if you either, of course, eliminate the enemy team before defusing, or along those line of things, teams will wait to defuse, so they accrue that time towards their specialist streaks or their dead silence. So that's why Wuskin committed suicide in front of the home crowd. And I understand the words I just said, if not given context, sound terrible. Wuskin is doing well and thriving in Call of Duty. London doing very well on top of that. And seemingly, a lot of pro players out there are doing just well, not using Scuff. Until next time, hope you guys all enjoy breaking down Call of Duty Esports gaming news here every single day, all day long. I'll see you guys back here soon, okay? Ha ha!